Next option is to pick the screen. Let me recenter my vessel and go back to 1.5 natural scale. So if I want to pick an object, suppose right now this is my anchor circle, turning circle that I have kept, swinging circle that I have kept. I told you the GPS is a bit off at this point. That's the reason why my anchor is showing anchor swinging circle, the vessel is shown a bit off. So if I need to pick an object, suppose I need to see what this lighthouse was, so I'll just okay, and you can see echo light temporarily extinguished. This was a user defined dangerous object. I'll show you what happens in the chart settings. If I show user defined as show dangerous objects, uncheck it, you can see that dangerous object that was kept on the user chart, it has vanished. It will return now. So this is what happens when you check or click or unclick a dangerous object as defined as a user object defined as a dangerous object. Next, to pick an object, the pick is a basic function to find what happens to what is shown as a symbol. So first thing, I need to find out the characteristics of this light. Just click pick, and I'll just go and click on top of this. As soon as I click on top of it, you can see it comes into a small square, and that square will give me the details of these many things: geo objects, meta objects, then unknown objects, and presentation library. So in the geo objects, I will have points, landmark. Again, if it is a light, you can see the light's name. Then how it is being shown. If you see it visually, how it will look like. Then the soundings and the rest of the things that you normally need while you navigate. Again, AAO. If I had kept AAO on, I would have got the details of the points, lines, any information overlay that basically had been given by UK MTO. Then the legend. Legend will give me an idea to check which chart I am using. So suppose my vessel is here, I want to check the charts that will apply here. I'll just have to click somewhere on the screen and it will show me the charts. I1 300 211. I1, after I1, the third number will always be the chart scale. Again, I1 400305. So these are how you will be able to check which charts are there. You can see number 3 will be a coastal chart and 4 will be an approach chart. Next comes the navigation menu. In the navigation menu is basically how you are going to plan how you will get an input to your GPS into your EGDIS. So EPFS, electronic position fixing system 1, 2 I am having, then DR, then discrepancy, heading, speed log, own ship, how it is going to come up, and the speed vectors for how many minutes I should get, and own track for how long I should see, and the predictor. So I can have an option as the main portion will be from GPS 1 and secondary portion is from GPS 2. Then if I click this display secondary position, then the secondary position will also get displayed. Heading gyro 1 and speed log either from log or from ARPA. Then the anti-grounding. This is basically your EGDIS chart settings for anti-grounding. So once you plan a passage, this is how you will input your values for the root check to happen. So the maximum draft at the moment, my dynamic UKC that I had calculated, safety vertical clearance, shallow counters, safety depth, safety deep counters, all these values I have to input first, so that when the root check happens, the root will be checked based on this values. Then there are options for safety counter change notifications. These are used whenever I need to change the safety counters as per my passage plan. Next will be, so this calculation is really important. This is the basics on which your EGDIS is going to work. Your company will be having a plan on how to calculate your UKC and counters as per their SMS manual. Next comes the look ahead configurations. So starboard how much degrees, port how much degrees, for how long, and when to turn it off if the speed over ground is reduced. Then show section on charts, 8 navigation, then areas with special conditions, minimum sounder depth. These are the options that come under anti-grounding. Next comes the route. I can unload a route. Suppose I am this is my current route, so I want to unload a route. I'll just have to unload this route, and the properties will give me a definition of when this was last checked. So even if you make a small addition to your voyage, then it will show not checked. So you will have to be careful of what you are seeing on screen, because if you might have already checked it, but it might be showing as not checked. So to unload and load a route, I will just unload the same route and reload it back. I will just unload this route. So my route has gone. Now to load this route, you can see the route has gone. To load the route, I will just have to go back. My voyage was from Novorossiysk to Haifa, and I will just load it. So the route has come back. And again, route monitoring alerts. When alerts should come up on my route: wheel over line approaching warnings, waypoint passing warnings, off schedule caution, and there is an option for automatically loading a user chart linked to this route. So you can either save your user chart along with the route, or you can load it once you load this route. So I had already added my user chart to this route. So once I load this route, it automatically comes up. So we'll go into that once we go for the planning mode. Next option will be the watch handover checks. So this screen will give you a general idea of what all connections are going to your EGDIS. I am having this as a master. So master, which all settings have come up, and the slave or the backup, which all are there. Then the position fixings, then safety parameters, then the route monitorings and the distance. So for a second mate, the distance is important. So it's very easy for me to calculate the route distance and the pass tag and the cumulative distance from here. So this is how the navigation function works. Then comes the display. So you can use the split screen, orientation, north up or head up, then relative motion or true motion. Whatever I change, you can see if I go to head up, the head up will come up here. If I go to true motion will come up on the top of the screen. So I'll just keep it back to north up and true motion. Then comes the zoom option. The zoom. Then comes the electronic bearing line. Next comes the ERBL. So ERBL basically gives me an option to measure the range and bearing. So I have two ERBLs available. So the first one, I can directly connect it to my own ship, or I can shift it. If I am using it as a floating ERBL, I can use it wherever I want. So this is one option, and if I want to keep it as a fixed point, suppose if I want to keep this ERBL fixed, I can lock this ERBL. So that means this EBL is basically locked. Then the next EBL will start. So the second EBL has come up. This is how two EBLs can be used. Again, you can disconnect it from your ship and use it as a floating EBL. I'll just remove the EBL and close the EBL. Again, in the EBL, the VRM marks, you see the VRM can be taken out by show VRM. So the VRM has gone from the circle to being just a point. Then there is an option for relative heading, relative bearing, use great circle. So these are the things that are available in the EBL. Then there is the traffic mode. Traffic mode is basically your settings for ARPA and AAS. So what all settings you can get for ARPA, for AAS and target association. This is basically your traffic settings. Next comes the base. You can see this. So once I click, it goes back to base. And since I had kept this chart to the base, you can see the standard is shown as yellow. That means it is a caution mark. You can see the standard on top of the screen, it has gone to yellow, and this is basically a caution to tell me that you are not in the correct chart setting. So I will go back and go to the chart settings. In my IMO categories, I will select all, and I will keep my scale as the correct scale. Next will be, you can see M written over on the side. That indicates that this will be the master ECDIS for the moment, and once I switch this one off, my backup will show M. Otherwise, for the moment, my backup will be showing the character Bravo. And vector, what all I had kept as a setting, AS filtered, then position, how I am getting. This is basically what is shown in this screen. Now we will go ahead and check what happens for planning mode, what is an integrator, then how to plot an LOP and LOP. All this we will check out. So since I have explained to you the icons on the screen, next we'll go deeper into planning mode, then chart loader as well as integrator. These are a few things that you should get a clarity in. So once again, I'll show you the sailing screen. You can see my position has turned back to green. Before it was orange. At that time the GPS was spoofed. Now for the moment it is working. So going back to planning mode, I have an option: new, load, close, save, duplicate, reverse, delete and link user charts. So I will delete this test route. So there is no route that is loaded. So suppose if I wanted to edit my last route, I can just directly load my last route, which was no roses to Haifa, and I can as soon as I load it, all my waypoints will come up. And again, the edit button should be in blue color for me to start editing the waypoints. So if I keep it under, if I want to use the ERBL, I will have to either keep the edit off and use the ERBL so that the waypoint doesn't get shifted. Again, on this screen you have a toggle bar. You can increase the length of the screen. Wherever I click, my screen directly goes to that waypoint. Suppose I am clicking birth, that means my screen goes to birth. If I was clicking waypoint 27, my screen will automatically go to waypoint 27. Why you couldn't see that was because the range was kept at 24 miles. So let me go to waypoint 37. As soon as I click waypoint 37, the screen sends us on waypoint 37. So we'll go to this waypoint. So this is the waypoint near which my vessel is currently at, and now let us create a new route. So I will close this route and I will just type new, and then route I can rename as I want. I can either use the on-screen keyboard, so I will use the on-screen keyboard for the moment, or I can use the keyboard that is provided. So this route name has been changed to test. Then anywhere I click, a waypoint is added. Again I am clicking the next waypoint, and a waypoint here. So this is how a route is created. And if I want to rename this route, I'll just click the waypoint which I need to rename. I'll go double click it and I can just input any number. So let us rename it as test. So it is renamed, and you can see the name test has come up. Now the position, if I want to edit the position here, I can double click and I can edit this position here. I'll increase the screen size so you can easily see it, and it will give me directly the course from this to here. Again the distance, and there is a total distance that comes up that I can see for the whole route. This is the total distance. Now if I want to shift this, I can directly shift this to wherever I want. Total distance, let us keep it much nearer. So we'll keep the total distance here. So you can see the waypoints have been added, and if I just save it, save option will come up. Again it will give me directly the position, course, distance, total distance. Then this is my cross track. I can use the cross track. I can either put let's keep it as 1,000 on both side, and 1,500 on starboard side. So it's 1,000 at 1,500. You can see the waypoint 1 to 2, the cross track has increased. You can see one side it is a bit longer, and this one is a bit shorter again. And if I want to merge this one, I can directly click this and the cross track gets merged. By the time it will be 1,500 and 1,000 at the start, and it will slowly reduce to 100 value once I approach waypoint 2. So this is how this function works. Then there is an option for parallel indexing. In this EgDIS, there is no need for you to type in the parallel index. You can directly use this for parallel indexing. For the moment there is nothing on screen from which I can take a reference, but for an example I am going to show you. Let me do a parallel indexing with this landmass. So I will just go to this waypoint on this course, and I will just click right click and add PL. As soon as I put add PL, this line comes up, and this will be in the same bearing as my course, and I can just keep this on any point of my screen. So I'll zoom in a bit so that I will get a better clarity. I'll just use it here, and once I leave it, it will go dark and bright for a bit, and it will get permanently fixed. That means this parallel index has been applied. So once you are using the root, you will have to just turn on the parallel indexing lines in chart settings. Under root, you can see show parallel indexing line, and you will be able to see the parallel indexing line there. Again, if you want to add a second parallel indexing line, again you will have to just right click on the root, add PL. Now the interesting thing about this is you are only allowed to have one PI per waypoint to waypoint route. That is the leg. So this leg will only have one parallel index line on one side of your track. Suppose you want to add two parallel indexing lines on one side, maybe a port or starboard, you won't be able to do that. And again, once I have created it, for me to delete it, I'll just have to go there, again right click and delete PL. That means that PL has been deleted. So you would have noticed when I input a PI, this automatically comes up here. I'll just show you once again. Add PL. You can see the distance there. PL has gone this far. So this was the PL, and if I delete the PL, this goes away. Next will be leg. You can use leg as a rump or great circle. Next will be the turning radius. You can change it. Next are the nodes, mariner's nodes, wheel over line alarms, leg safety counter in meters, waypoint approach alarms, waypoint tidal levels, safety checks, detected cat socks, it will give you the cat socks, weather optimizable, estimated time of departure, time of stay, planned speed, time to go, ETA, time zone, change to range, PA for wheel over line 1, PA for wheel line 2, coverage and coverage status. So this is how your route can be made. Again, once you before you save it, there is one more thing you can use, is you can use link user chart, so that if I use the link user chart, there is no need for me to load the user chart again along with navigation mode. I can directly use, now my last user chart was no roses to Haifa. I'll just use this and I'll just click save. So if I save it, that user chart is linked to this route. This is how your route is made. Again, once you make a route, you won't be able to load this route.